And if you want the unfiltered version of that, you can Odyssey rewind to, 9:52 or whatever it was?
I was about to say, as opposed to the non-female gender.
Bro, it was 15 minutes of that. I call Roberto. I go, hey, just be careful now. Don't get us in trouble. But, yeah, there's a lot we didn't put into that one that would have got us in trouble. So we've got some Lions to do today. I'm not going to take the bait by Chris Villar. Chris with that salacious Pistons update. I may get to that in the 4 o'clock. I may.
Things you do to not be a Piston.
Okay, we'll get to that in the 4. But you and I have to start this show a certain way, Rico. Because it's listeners, it's people we work with. Like, are you people going to grow up? Game was over a week ago. I cannot believe we are this far down the line. And you know what I don't hear about? You know what? Lions had a hell of a season. It was a hell of a good year. Win a home playoff game. Win 2 of them, in fact. Win the division. And you didn't get rolled in the NFC title game. In fact, there was a time you thought you were going to win it. And you know what Rico and I have been hearing? I don't want to watch the Super Bowl. Wah! What is wrong with you people? And that goes to some of our coworkers. Oh, you're not going to watch the Super Bowl. What? Oh, it's just so painful. What? Can I remind you this was an unbelievable season where this team damn near went to the Super Bowl? Mm-hmm. What, Rico, what planet are we on?
I don't know. Gator told me it's because you're not a Lions fan. That's why. Like, Gator, I watched my team not make the Super Bowl 11 times.
Yeah, you know what you did?
I watched
the Super Bowl 11 times.
Right. It's like, I don't understand it. I do understand, like, the initial, that Monday, the overreaction. I'm mad, I'm angry, but it gets to the point where, guys, it was a good season, good team, and another team just won. Doesn't mean your team is bad. They just outlasted you. They won, but you're not going to watch the game. You sound like a bunch of crybabies.
Well, here's the other thing. And again, it has nothing to do with the hosts. Nothing. All weekend, callers still wanting to talk about 4th and 2, 4th and 3. Man, game was
well, you know whose
8
fault.
days ago.
You know whose fault it was, right? It's Jared Goff's fault. Can't pay him. Can't bring him back. Patrick Mahomes would have made that throw.
The throws were made. The catches weren't.
I'm just saying.
I just would like to know from the people, if you are not able to arrive at this was a great season, then when, if ever, are you going to? I mean, by Thursday of last week, it's over. Game's done. I just don't understand. You have callers and hosts talking about not watching the damn game? At what point, let me do any of you get any joy out of this year? Now, Brad Holmes talked today. We're going to have some of his audio for you at 3 o'clock. He said one thing that I think warrants discussion. But I'd love to hear from you guys on this.
Yeah.
Because it's mornings, middays, depending what show you listen to on the weekend. I'm not watching the Super Bowl. What?
Yeah. Are you not watching the Super Bowl? And if so, why not? 248-539-9797. No judgment, no anger. I just want to know the reason why you're choosing this year, the last game of the year. You've invested so much time in an entire season that you get one more game, and no, you're opting out.
Well,
you're hitting the portal.
And the fact that you can't feel satisfaction from this season. I don't get it. I mean, listen, when I was 12, I might let a game bother me for a week. I'm listening to people old enough to get discounts on afternoon movies this weekend calling in saying they can't get over it. It's like, dude, you best get over it.
I heard somebody say, it was a cookie show this week, nobody's going to watch the Super Bowl this year because the Lions aren't in it. And I had to pull over and send Cookies a text. I'm driving to East Lansing. Like, you do realize people are going to watch this game. No, the Lions aren't in it, so nobody cares. everybody only cared to see the Lions. I was like, that's not how this works.
No, but it's also the end of, okay, our season is over and it sucked. But, by Thursday or Friday, I figure you'd be able to go, you know what? It's a pretty damn good season. This was pretty awesome. I'm amazed we have people still complaining about Dan Campbell. Because also blaming Dan Campbell, I just don't agree with. He's not blameless, but he's not alone in blame. You have to blame layers of people. This idea, we're still talking about these calls. I'm like, I got nothing for you.
I got a theory on that, and I think that a lot of people who are still talking about the calls, still talking about the drop passes, still talking about all those things means that they don't think that this team is going to make it back to this spot again. There's going to be another 30-some years before they make it back, and that's where the anger comes from. That they don't think the Lions are going to make it back anytime soon. So, therefore, you're angry, and this is why you want to, you want changes, and you want a new quarterback, and Dan Campbell's an idiot, and just on and on and on. So, that's my theory.
Okay. Listen, I want to hear from the people on it. Brad Holmes spoke today. We've got some audio about how they're going to approach their offseason. I'm not overreacting to it, but I'll give you my thoughts on it, because if I hold him to his word, I don't like it. I'll explain. I ain't going to be no yelling or anything. We'll grade them on what they actually do, not what they say. We will update you on NBA trade deadline later in the show, way later in the show. Also, condolences as the entire Michigan basketball team was hit by a car driven by their coach. Juwan Howard, what are you doing? His comments were, depending on your perspective, either hilarious or infuriating. We're going to get to that later in the day. We got a jam-packed show on a Monday, but we had to start with this. Are Rico and I insane for sitting here and going, hey, man, obviously, you can be salty about the loss, but how the hell are listeners still calling this station angry a week later? How the hell are we still talking about Dan Campbell? And how the hell am I listening to both callers, texters, hosts saying, man, we ain't watching the Super Bowl? I don't know what planet I'm on. 248-539-9797. David, are we living on a separate in a separate galaxy here, or are you with us on this?
No, I am with you on this because I get it. It was an emotional collapse. It was very, you 17-point lead and you collapse like that. You're going to have that feeling a couple days later, but a week later, more than a week later, and you're saying, I can't get over it, and then you can't watch the Super Bowl because of it. Rico's right. There's never been the Lions have never been in the Super Bowl, so you've watched it before.
Right.
You will watch it
57 other times
right.
You watch this game.
So you'll be just fine. You'll watch the Super Bowl.
David, I'm usually at this point in the year, I've been disenfranchised from my team or angry by, I don't know, September, the Giants stink.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's the Super Bowl.
We're not going to have football until September. Training camp doesn't count, guys. It doesn't count.
No, but I know.
Oh,
no, don't worry. Mark the tape on this. I'll have to listen to how excited David is to watch preseason football. He's going to do it again. And then we'll come back on that Monday, and he's going to admit to us, yeah, I watched about 3 minutes.
I'm not going to do it this year. I'm not going to do it.
He was going to say the new XFL, USFL mergered league.
Nah, I'm not going to bore you about that.
Okay.
Not going to do that. But
I think I'm actually going to go down to one game this year.
Well, I'll do that for the kids, but that's different.
You are something, man.
I just want to see what it looks like.
Hey, if you've got a local soccer league with kids and your attendance is down, give us a call. Rico will show up. Nobody likes live sports more than you, man. Nobody. You know what? Hey, if you got a bocce league, Rico would really like to learn about Italy's sport. Come on down. 30, 90-year-old Italian guys, and then Rico.
That's the where they roll the ball down?
Yeah, yes. Okay. Yeah. And
that's
Rico,
the Enzo Mariucci sport. Gotcha.
Rico, where are you at? Oh, I'm at Moneyball. I thought that was in the summer. No, I'm at the Moneyball Bocce Invitational. down at the Knights of Columbus. Watching bocce.
Hey, Rico, let's go to Palazzo de Bocce.
Right, I mean, my goodness.
This is the man who watches horses run in circles.
I do it from the comfort of my house. Well, then there's Saratoga and Keeneland and different things. But those are trips. I don't know if that's the same as watching
I can just
7-on-7.
Go down there and watch the game.
All right.
And then you go home. If it's bad, you go home.
David, we know anybody at the USFL? Get Rico in a luxury box for this big merger?
Not the top of my head. I may find someone soon, though. We'll see.
Okay. 248-539-9797. We're off and running on a Monday. Your calls next.